My daughter brought up and says, I don't understand this. And we noticed that it was not ancient history and world geography that she was learning. She had to answer these bubbles that were coming out of her screen that determined whether she was a Democrat or a Republican. She didn't know if she was doing it right or wrong. She didn't know if she was supposed to answer it this way or that way.
It was completely opinion-based. It had nothing, there was nothing about facts.
We're wondering, what does this have to do with ancient history and world geography?
It was just an outrage that somebody who simply wanted to know what his curriculum was for his young daughter was fired from his job.
Not only did they fire him, but they told him in the town that he was being fired because he exercised his First Amendment rights.
You feel helpless. You know, there's nothing you can do about it.
Cancel culture on steroids down here in Dedham. It's just unbelievable what they're doing to this man and his family.
This is Flynn, up the middle, got some yardage. Pushing ahead.
My first year ever playing football was in 7th grade, and I knew I loved the game. And I said, this is the sport for me. And I went into Dedham High School as a freshman. And it was funny, our team only had 13 kids. True story. And by the time we were seniors, we went undefeated in the league, and we earned a berth in the Division I Super Bowl. We went on to play Brockton High School.
The Dedham crowd is very much pumped up. They're in their first ever Super Bowl, and they're about to kick off to the...
I run into people all over the place, and they're telling their kids, and throughout my years of coaching and teaching, you're that Dave Flynn, you played in that game. I was there, I saw you play, that was unbelievable, it was fun.
This is Flynn, up the middle, got some yardage.
A big parade in the town, and it was a big thing in the town of Dedham at the time, and I became a member of the Dedham High School Hall of Fame, the team was in the High School Hall of Fame, and all that, from that season and stuff.
Zaritzkis, and he'll go down at the 40, and it's Dave Flynn, who else?
When I took over the program, this team was in turmoil. Like I said, there were kids quitting, they were fighting, they were not playing right, there was lack of character there. And to me, being a very good football coach is not just knowing all the X's and O's. Every coach knows X's and O's. But it's getting a kid to believe in what you have to say.
He's a great coach. He's a great guy. Anybody who knows Coach Flynn will tell you that he goes above and beyond for you. It's not just he's your coach when you're playing, it's a lifelong friendship.
He knows the game. He knows the game like Bill Belichick does. He sees things happening before they even happen. Watching the reaction from the kids, it's amazing. You can see a kid who's never touched a football to 4 years later going on to play college football. That's what he does.
He's just a guy you like to play for. He does anything for his players. Many situations he's done for me where he's gone above and beyond things he didn't have to do for me.
When I took over the program, 39 kids were in the program. I built the program up with 99 players in it. I really wanted to be that one team to take a Dedham High School team and win a postseason game. And we did that. And we were looking forward to having, bigger and brighter future for the town of Dedham and the football program. And we were excited about that. Hey, what's up? How was your day?
Good.
Yeah? You?
He's an excellent dad, always there for the kids, always there for me.
The sauce I made. My family first. And that's what I preach in my plays, family first. And it's always been that way with me. And every kid I coach will attest to that. And nothing would keep me away from protecting my children. Nothing would. My daughter brought up and says, I don't understand this. And we noticed that it was not ancient history and world geography that she was learning. It was a race-related cartoon about a white character and a black character, and they had thought bubbles above their head with mitigating factors and risk factors. And, they were labeling police officers as a risk to people, and we didn't like that.
The main thing that caught my eye was the risk factor of the police officer. I come from a family of police officers. My sister-in-law's father was killed in the line of duty, and I firmly believe that everyone should respect them. That was the main thing that did stick out to me, and that's when I had emailed the teacher and asked to have a conversation with her to find out what was going on in this class.
She was teaching the course, so she had a little emoji of herself, and she had a Black Lives Matter shirt on.
I just didn't know what it meant, had anything to do with history or world geography. We would have worked with her, and that's what we were looking, but she had no answers for us.
And the superintendent, he called us in for a meeting. So I thought we were getting saved. I said, great, and everything's gonna work out. And it was the complete opposite of what I thought. We went in and he just sat across the desk and he wanted to hear what Ann and our thoughts were, and he completely disagreed with all of our thoughts. So we talked a little bit more about, some decisions, and I said to him, I said that every relationship in the world is based on compromise. And I said, this is what we're asking. I said, remove the BLM emoji, right? And that shouldn't be in the classroom. So he turned around and said, good luck finding a school for your children. That was his last words.
Taking her away from her friends was tough. She's 7th grade. It's a tough age.
My daughter's 12 years old. She doesn't know anything about what's going on. What she knows is how to treat people right. My daughter's a wonderful, loving, caring young girl that every girl at that middle school wants to be friends with. And it's a shame. And so we pulled the kids. I wrote the letter to everybody to know what happened. This is why. And I never heard anything. So we just moved on. We didn't create a stink, didn't contact any media or anything. We just lived our lives and started preparing for the football season. And the superintendent, he called us in for a meeting. But I went in there and he handed me a packet of paper, and it was, is this your writing? And it was my letter that I had sent out telling the story of our conversation. The principal jumped in, This goes against everything we're doing here at Dedham High School, our, educational philosophy. This is bad, Dave. Then the superintendent jumped in. We can't stand for this. You can't be going against this. We worked hard at this together. And then the principal jumped back in saying, Dave, we're definitely going in a different direction with our football program, with the coach.
So as soon as the letter had gone out, his termination letter had gone out, we all of a sudden became this controversial figure in town. We were called racist and white supremacists.
And that was very hard for my wife and I to have to deal with, because we worked really hard, right, to be a family full of character and love. And we weren't shown that way through the eyes of some people that are very misguided in this town right now.
Dave is the farthest thing from a racist. Ann's the farthest thing from the racist. We have coached, I've been with Dave for over 20 plus years. Dave doesn't look at anyone as white, black, polka dotted, green, purple. We look at everyone equally, and every kid knows that.
Race is definitely nothing I ever thought about when it came to Coach Flynn. I never really thought about black and white when I was playing for him. It was never anything like that.
What I've seen out of him is a guy that treats me equally, respects me, and is willing to take time with me, not somebody that doesn't look at me some type of way for who I am.
I believe I do my job right. And I was really surprised that I had my coaching job taken away from me.
Public employees don't lose their First Amendment rights just because they're public employees. And he has the right, the First Amendment right, it's one of our basic rights, to express himself to the government. And he did that, and he was fired, and it really was outrageous. So you would have thought, in this type of context, the town of Dedham would have tried to find a way to fire someone for a different reason. Some type of football-related reason to terminate him. But they didn't. They said, we're going a different way because of philosophical differences. And those were the differences in his letter. Had nothing to do with the type of offense he wanted to run on the football field.
He's a father. It's his daughter. He has every right, like every human does. You're doing something about your children without you knowing? I'm glad he spoke up. He wasn't there as a football coach. He was there as dad.
It's happening all across the country. To think that it's happening right here in Massachusetts, the cradle of liberty, is really quite disturbing.
We did not want to be the face of this controversy. I would always support anyone, but we now see ourselves as being the face of it. And it is kind of overwhelming. Some days it's hard to get through, it's nonstop. Our lives were turned upside down.
But every time you step out, Coach, we love you, Coach. People coming by, and the support was unbelievable. I mean, there's been a rally every single weekend.
The problem is, if you disagree with the establishment, if you disagree with government, if you disagree with the other side, if you just have a disagreement, people just want to cancel you. They just want to be done with you. They don't want you to be part of their lives or society or culture anymore. And so that's really what happened here. The superintendent didn't like that the Flynns raised these concerns about their daughter's curriculum, and so they canceled Coach Flynn. He's the type of guy, he's the person that Judicial Watch wants to help. He's the little guy that's just been wronged by the government.
And I really look forward to working with them to see this thing through and prevail and hopefully make a statement for every town around us that's just like the town of Dedham, that this can't happen. Do not let this happen to your children. Don't let it happen to your families. Make a stand, and let's get back to being the type of town that we want to be, that we're proud of and everybody cares about.